What is good? Osiris here, stuck in the middle. Appreciate you joining. For the next couple weeks until early August, my upload schedule is going to be erratic. Thank you for understanding. Going on a family trip, though, it's good. I'll try to share some pictures. I hope everyone is doing well. I'm kind of amped up today, and it's not just because of my coffee. What if you're right and they're wrong? It's also because I'm finding out why we're here, talking about the censorship and just the whole, not just the First Amendment, the whole Constitution being completely warped and destroyed. In part, why we're here, not everything. There's a lot of reasons why, but let me go through some Twitter threads here, if it's okay. Let me bump around and find it. I think it's worth. And when I do this, I am not looking to demean my fellow citizen. I'm going to be harsh. I'm going to call them out, and please call me out when I'm wrong. But it's important to talk about this stuff. So I'm going to start with a thread. I'm going to start with a thread that I saw from Matt Taibbi. So Matt Taibbi said, it's becoming clear that huge portions of the population don't have much interest in democracy. Powerful statement. I agree. Actually, I don't know. I'm sort of iffy on it, because what I replied is, what they really don't like is the Constitution. That's what they really don't like, or don't even. They're literally ignorant about it. They don't even know the Constitution. And in my head, I'm like, no wonder we're teaching critical race theory, taking people away from religion, away from their parents. I've talked about these in other videos. And then also away from the Constitution, because critical race theory believes in equity that is in complete contradiction to our Constitution. So, like, that's why Biden is trying to do laws that have race first. That is not constitutional to say, oh, I'm going to do this for you because you have black skin or you have this identity. That is unconstitutional, clearly. But let's get deeper into this. I said, it's not just that the population doesn't like democracy. They have the idea. They like the idea of voting because it makes you feel like you're a part of it. They don't just want a king. They want, even if it's just for appearance sake, they like just like we saw the issues in the voting from 2016 and 2020, people questioning it. But many people, they don't care if there was any type of issue or all. They just care that, okay, we got a result. Doesn't matter if it's real or not or whatever. And we roll with it because we feel like we were a part of it and the person that they wanted to win won. They don't want the burden of critical thinking. So they want to vote. So let's take Joe Biden, one recently. Vote for Joe Biden. He wins. Now we're good. You all saw all the quotes. No late night tweets, no abrasive tweets. We're back to normal. It's all unity. The unity didn't obviously include Trump supporters. The unity was all establishment Republicans, like you've seen Bush and others, join with the establishment left. And now we're back to normal. They want to feel like a part of the process, but ultimately they want to be told what to do by who they consider trusted sources. That's why that's why Jen Psaki can openly 2 days in a row, don't give me any BS about this being an accident. If there was a concern, Jen Psaki would have circled back on day 2, yesterday, Friday. So on Thursday, she came right out and said, we're flagging stuff for Facebook. On Friday, she came out even more, saying that if you get flagged, you should be banned on all social media platforms. You see why I was so upset about 45 getting banned? It wasn't about 45. It was about this. It's a slope that doesn't end. It just slides down. But that's why they can do it, because they trust the establishment. It feels safe. It's no different than the Matrix. I think his name Tank, whatever, the guy who was eating the steak and he was talking to the agent. So they're in a fake world. And he's like, I can taste the steak. I don't need to leave this fake world, even if it's fake. And there's an argument for that. But if you try to take this away from me, I'm going to fight you because I don't want to go to the real world. I don't want to really understand what's happening. And that's what we have. So they do have interest in democracy, I think. They just don't like the Constitution and don't want to have to think critically. Let me give you evidence of that. I'm going to go back to a different thread that I was replying to a person here. So here's this thread is, let me see where this started here. So this started from the start. There's somebody said that we needed a scapegoat. Let me see here. Who am I replying to? Sorry, let me get a second. Who am I replying to about the scapegoat? Did it get changed or maybe, let me see here. So let me give I don't know where the original, I don't know where I got the scapegoat from. Maybe it was from, okay, here it is. Sorry, I got it. Dylan Byers tweeted, Facebook official. In private exchanges, the Surgeon General has praised our work, including our efforts to inform people about this thing, the health situation. They knew what they were doing. The White House is looking for scapegoats for missing their goals. This is, and then so after that, I replied, I don't agree at all. Now, I'm not challenging that was told. I believe that was told by a Facebook official. What I don't agree with is they don't need a scapegoat. So they might be scapegoating Facebook, but let's think through this critically. Why would they need a scapegoat? Why would they need a scapegoat? They don't need a scapegoat. Who? Why? We're partisan. We're divided. Who is going to blame the administration for not reaching their goals on the health crisis? Who? Democrats aren't going to do it. And then the other side is going to hate them no matter what. This does not sway them politically at all. At all. So I asked, does anyone seriously think them not reaching their goals is going to hurt them politically? The scapegoats are already non-Democrats. Here's a reply from Floridian who cares about Florida lives, which is great. So he responds, the scapegoats are dead and suffering Americans and extra trillions on the debt, which we all have to pay for. Who do you think is paying the millions for doubling lung transplants that $130 solution could have avoided? Yes, you and I, this is public health, for God's sakes. So then I mean, that just got me like, whoa, come on, bro. Let's talk about this. So I'm like, okay, we have to talk about this. I said, that doesn't address my comments. The administration doesn't need to scapegoat social media for that. People like you are already doing the scapegoating for them. So if they don't need to scapegoat the social media companies, but they're trying to make them the scapegoat, that means they are taking advantage of those tragic deaths that you just talked about to strong arm social media and bypass the First Amendment. Then I said the First Amendment and the whole Constitution is to protect us from the power of the government. In particular, the Bill of Rights, the first 10. Even if you are 100%, I do typos in all my tweets. Even if you're 100% right about our health situation, the fact that you show zero concern about the Bill of Rights tells me all I need to know about how little you value it. Because you can be right about the health situation and still say, I have concerns about the Bill of Rights. After we're all done here, we're going to go back to it, right? You could express some concern about it. And then I bring that up to see, will you agree and express? Because if after I say that he agrees and say, yep, I do have concerns about that, then we're good. Then I'm like, we're on the same page. There's no need for us to go back and forth. We might not have the same weight on these things, but we're on the same page. But we're not on the same page. The Bill of Rights has nothing to do with private. Jesus Christ. Oh my God. I just had to stop for a second. He said the Bill of Rights has nothing to do with private companies. He just doesn't know. I'm not mad at him. I'm just frustrated that we've got all this push for critical race theory in our schools and we don't even understand civics. Civics is really the map to how to be an American citizen. You don't just live your life. That's not being an American citizen. You have to understand your rights. The most basic rights to understand. The number one, before you even get to your local state, the most basic rights, because your state rights should not trample over these, are the Constitution. And you just start with the first 10 that are the Bill of Rights. So he says they have nothing to do with private companies. So the government has basically told these private companies what to do, and you're still calling them private companies? Like, I mean, without even acknowledging there's some concern here. It's just pure. That's why we are where we are. It's pure in the truest form, not to be disrespectful. That is just pure ignorance. Of which I ran one forum with millions of paid views for 18 years and others afterwards. It's you that show no respect for the general welfare and happiness, health of people. Where have I disrespected the happiness, health of people at all in this conversation so far? Tell me if I'm wrong. Which is the whole dang reason for Bill of Rights. So his idea is the Bill of Rights is the general welfare and happiness, health of people. Yeah, that's in there. But what is the entity that challenges that? The whole point that they declared independence from England is because the government can put their foot on your neck and impede on that. It's unbelievable. So then I said this, I'm going to end on this where I did this. I said, so he said, you know, I talked about the Bill of Rights is to protect us from the government. That's the whole point of it. So we can have happiness. He said, that's quite a statement that the Constitution is mostly to protect us from government. Wow. I thought it was to have a happy and healthy, prosperous peoples with a government that helps make it so. There it is. You see that trust in the government. It's not that I don't trust the government ever, but there's always that tension or balance of, whoa, Mr. Government, what are you doing? We have this Bill of Rights. That's why we have it. That's what makes America great. That's what makes America different. Even during slavery, Frederick Douglass said, does slavery live up to this document that we have? That was his argument. He was a constitutionalist. He was like, does it live up to that? No. So we're going to have to fight for it. And there's other things involved too. But so I'm like, bruh, the first 10 amendments are literally called the Bill of Rights, meaning the rights of people to protect the people from the government. They want to teach CRT, yet we don't even understand our civic duty as citizens. Do you think a citizenry that doesn't understand civics is easier or harder to manipulate? You tell me. Take care.
Listen up, check it. Erule's about to wreck it. No anaphora in my aura burst. I got the works when I freak it. This arm unique with swarms of seeking. Diaphoretic in the energetic. Born in motion draws up kinetic. Being combined with the vibe. Not a man to transcribe, though they tried. I jot down an all in a stew and hold D to rock the whole jam. Jump slow the program. I down a cool to no man. When I get busy, who is he? My formula rhymes and parallel lines and perfect. Mike's the short circuit. Hawk is worth it. I'm on the brink of blowing up. You'll examine hits however they fall with Mike's in flight. Graphic when I grabs it. Gab with forms of this sort. Words I comport swift. No buts, ands, or ifs. Laid on the reel, eventually the scale of bill. I pack a creel of the ram till it's a mill and chill. When I feel like grow like shrubs over dubs. Indulgent buds maybe. 420 team hits on the elements of green. What's the word? Travel on a 6/3. Niggas in mad herb to build up on the scene for the time being. Dips to intervene. God, what's the catch? Knows a gig we can sketch. Got a panoramic view. Plus I'm true. Pull no stunts on the crew or you're through. That's a fact. Future not flung by the tongue. Hark to what the God brung. Listen up. Listen up. Let me your ear. Stop and stare. Listen up. Let me your ear. Stop and stare. Listen up. Let me your ear. Stop and stare. Flip, I'm back in your click. Mark my words, see you never knew you wouldn't post it all if you had heard my skills. Secluded in my unit, rip rhymes to flow fluent, manifest my flatland style. Redirect from the west, I flare forming dead chunks to test, try and press. I evanesce the stress, more or less, mama, let's my dress. I strive burrows through the fifth when I shift my zone. Got melodic tone, flows a free course, I like my resource, so let me born a check. Live and direct to record technique, I freak, man, mad mystique. When I speak, I peak, Erule's unique. Flash well, stalk like a super bell blasted. Punks are plastic, I'm drastic. Ill like Romana, digging Afro Dawners in on it. No game, retain my name. Here it is, Erule Supreme, I get biz, you know the scene. That's your quote, check what I wrote. Big cash responses, no nonsense. Here there is, I'm juke a foul mannerism. Swarms getting warm, do the lingo that I give them like that. While you hawk to my whiz, checking for the sound garden, there it is.
Listen up, lend me your ear, stop and stare. Listen up, lend me your ear, stop and stare. Listen up, lend me your ear, stop and stare. Listen up, lend me your ear, stop and stare.
In the mind, a freak for the writing rhyme. Born and inclined, I'm juking no chimes. I'm 90 little times, I make a killing. Talk you willing, got the feeling. All my skill and functions and modulations as I break trends. Meeting ends with my mad malice, my God sins. Got the format, then he swore that I wouldn't drop. Now I got props, you heard my trumpy. I never slump, see punks are left back. I'm in like left rack when I kick my toe slick, drifts to fit. Manifesting shit, thought sorts emerge on a hit. You know this foul words you never utter, cause you know the God's butter. Got my shit down pat, so my sound's fat. Blown from the end of the pound tracks, rip it and max. I bees aloof to the punk, flowing the gimmicks and acts. I got the formula, I'm on it, the vibe be mad ill. Expedient through the fear you're feeling, set appealing. Greenbacks, I'm reeling, aloof to kids who be stealing. I ain't a fluent, I'll a punk and survive. I'm magnanimous, I grow like cannabis, never animus when I unfold. Hope the next man don't plan to bust gold. My form is, and the swarm is enormous, the word not born is. Showing them more, we're getting warm is indeed. Hawking as I proceed, Erule the wise and prize them all. Go the next level song and then I'm gone.
Lend me your ear, stop and stare.